You think you know who you really are, but what if everything you believe about yourself is only half the truth? Long ago, there lived a great sage named Udalaka who had a 12-year-old son named Svetaketu. The boy was wildly carefree and spent every waking moment playing and enjoying life without a single serious thought. But his father watched with growing concern as days turned into weeks and weeks into months. If my son continues like this, thought Udalaka, then he will forever remain blind to life's deepest mysteries. The worried father faced a difficult choice to let his son remain ignorant or take drastic action. Suddenly, Udalaka made his decision. He called Svetaketu to him and announced, "Tomorrow, you will leave home to study under a worthy teacher." The boy was shocked, but there was no arguing with his father's command. 12 long years passed. Then, one day, the village stirred with excitement as a young man approached. It was Svetaketu returning home at last. But something had changed dramatically. The once playful boy now walked with his chin raised high, his eyes looking down upon everyone he passed. Udalaka greeted his son warmly, yet inwardly he sighed with disappointment. My son has gained knowledge, he thought, but lost his humility. His pride has built a wall between him and true wisdom. Just when everyone else was impressed by Svetaketu's transformation, his father saw the truth. This scholarly arrogance would become his greatest limitation. One evening, as they sat together under a vast starlit sky, Udalaka suddenly turned to his son with an unexpected question. "My son," he asked, his voice cutting through the silence, "in all your years of study, did you learn that by which you can hear what has never been heard, think what has never been thought, and know what seems impossible to know?" Svetaketu opened his mouth to answer, but no words came out. For the first time since his return, doubt cracked his confident facade. Just then, Udalaka reached down and picked up a lump of ordinary clay from the ground. "Look carefully," said the sage. "When a potter shapes this clay into countless different vessels, its appearance changes completely. But no matter what it becomes or how it transforms, its fundamental essence remains unchanged. It is always clay." Svetaketu leaned forward, his interest sparked despite his confusion. "And so it is with our entire universe," continued Udalaka. "Forms change, names differ, but within everything exists that one supreme essence, the divine itself." Then, with intense conviction, the father delivered the profound revelation. Just as no pot can exist without clay, this vast universe cannot exist without divine presence. And even more shocking, my son, you are also a manifestation of that same divine essence. Tat Tvam Asi, you are that. Svetaketu stood stunned, but skepticism still clouded his eyes. "Father, I hear your words," he admitted, "but I cannot grasp their meaning. Can you show me this truth in a way I can actually experience it?" Udalaka smiled mysteriously. Then he reached up to a nearby branch and plucked a banyan fruit. "Cut this open," he instructed. When Svetaketu sliced the fruit, he found tiny seeds inside. "Now, cut open one of these seeds," said Udalaka. The young man carefully split the tiny seed, then looked up with confusion. "There's nothing inside, father. It appears completely empty." And yet, Udalaka's voice grew powerful. "From that seeming nothingness grows the mighty banyan tree that towers over our village and shelters hundreds. What your eyes perceive as empty actually contains the greatest power of all." Just when Svetaketu thought he understood, his father pushed further. "That invisible essence is exactly like the divine, present in every seed, every creature, every particle of existence. You cannot see it, but without it, nothing would exist." But Udalaka wasn't finished. He suddenly called for a pot of water and a handful of salt. "Watch closely," he said as he dissolved the salt in the water. Then he asked, "Can you see the salt now?" "No, father, it has completely disappeared." "Now take a sip from any part of this water," instructed Udalaka. The moment the water touched Svetaketu's lips, he tasted intense saltiness. "Although the salt is invisible," explained Udalaka, "it permeates every single drop of this water completely and equally. Similarly, the divine essence is not visible to our eyes, nor can it be touched by our hands, yet it exists in every atom of creation." Then, Udalaka looked deeply into his son's eyes, and more amazingly, that same essence exists within you too. Tat Tvam Asi, you are that. Suddenly, as if a veil had been lifted, Svetaketu felt something profound shift within him. Tears welled up in his eyes as he realized that his very existence was an expression of the divine. His pride melted away like morning mist under the sun. But in its place grew something far more valuable: genuine understanding and humility. Just when he thought his education was complete, he discovered it had barely begun. This ancient story teaches us that beneath our surface differences beyond our individual identities, and despite what our eyes can see, we are all expressions of the same divine essence. But here's the most important question: have you recognized this truth in your own life? Or are you still living with the illusion of separation? When we truly understand Tat Tvam Asi, everything changes. Pride dissolves, compassion awakens, and we begin to see the sacred in everyone and everything around us. What do you think? Is the divine truly present in everything around us? Or is this just a concept we've created to make sense of our existence? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this ancient wisdom resonated with you, like this video, share it with others seeking self-knowledge, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our next illuminating story. Because just when you think you know yourself, there's always a deeper truth waiting to be discovered. Radhe Krishna.